It was a masterclass in how to win votes and influence tiny people.
There you go.
Albanese pulling a rabbit out of his hat with Labor's cheaper childcare policy.
A+? Yeah.
The plan will see the maximum childcare rebate lifted to as much as 90% for the first child in care and extended on a sliding scale to include families on a combined income of up to $530,000. In real terms, it'll see a family on the average wage with 2 kids in care save around $212 a week.
Under our plan, no family will be worse off, but almost all families will be better off.
There's just one problem. It won't kick in until July next year.
What we're asking now is please don't dilly-dally on this. Treat it seriously, treat it as a massive opportunity.
As the cost of living skyrockets, the childcare sector is pushing for the changes to be fast-tracked. Australia's fees currently among the highest in the world.
The cost of early childhood education and care is impacting the accessibility for all children, particularly children who need to attend most.
Working women too are growing impatient.
Australian women are the best educated in the world, and yet we are 70th when it comes to financial security and economic participation. It is imperative that we close this gap.
New figures showing more than 100,000 women are currently unable to work because of childcare responsibilities.
If we were able to totally close the gap between the workforce participation of men and women, we would be able to increase and supply 1 million workers to the Australian economy.
So with relief still just out of reach for frustrated families, is it time to grab change by the horns?
Awesome.
Well, Georgie Dent is Executive Director at the Parenthood. Georgie, what's the reaction been from parents about these proposed changes?
Look, the reaction from parents has been a resounding yes. They cannot wait for these changes to come into effect. We saw that on Saturday, parents overwhelmingly voted in favour of both Labor's proposition, but also voters who elected independent candidates and the Greens. They all went to the election with a mandate around making early childhood education and care radically more affordable.
For people who don't have kids or have older children, why should they care about this?
We all benefit when the economy grows, and we know that increasing women's workforce participation in Australia is one of the significant levers we have to grow our economy. And we also know that you don't have to be the parent of a child to benefit from children having access to quality early learning. It literally sets children up for success, for life, and all of us stand to benefit from having a population of children that will become the future, who are well educated and who are ready when they arrive at school, they're ready to learn and they can thrive.
Of course, our history with childcare subsidies isn't great, as you would well know, Georgie, because, of course, what happens is governments put the subsidies up and then whatever extra money they're giving families just gets chewed up because the companies that run the centres just hike their prices. So how confident are you that whatever extra parents are given won't just disappear in higher prices?
Look, that is a very real risk and it needs to be actively avoided. So the Labor government have mentioned this and they will be looking at what mechanism can be put in place in the short term to ensure that that price gouging doesn't occur. Historically, that is what's happened, and that is why advocates like myself recognise the limitations of the subsidy system that we have. We need to move beyond that. We need to be moving towards a system where every child, regardless of their postcode or their parents' income, has got access to quality early learning in the years before they start school. Now, that is a different model, and I am thrilled because we have got a Prime Minister in Australia who for the first time has said that his very clear ambition is to leave a legacy of universal access to high quality early childhood education and care, and that is a game changer for children, for parents, for women and for our economy.
And if that universal childcare dream was fulfilled, it would mean giving money to extremely wealthy people. We're talking households $500,000 a year and up. As a society, do we get anything from giving subsidies to rich people who can afford to pay for childcare anyway?
Well, I would say to you that households that are on more than $500,000 are free to send their children to the local primary school, and they stand to benefit just as much as any other children do. What we have in Australia is a system that is deeply stacked against secondary earners. And so, you know, I know one of our members, for example, her husband is a partner in a law firm, and he does earn, he earns more than $350,000 a year. Now, she works as a nurse, and because of the way our taxation system works, is that she's effectively paying 80 cents in the dollar for her earnings. And therefore, as a nurse, she does only do 2 shifts, because if she worked more than that, she would effectively be paying to work. And that's the situation that we have got replicated across the country. This system wasn't brought in to ensure that families on high incomes would get some sort of windfall. It's come in to address a structural inequity that punishes women more than anybody else, because I have never seen a business leader stand up and say that CEOs in Australia who are earning more than $1 million should be paying a taxation rate anywhere near 80 cents in the dollar. But that's the situation we have in Australia, and it is why we have got such a strange, low female workforce participation rate. This change is about redressing that, to give women, particularly mums, a fair opportunity to participate in the workforce and enjoy the dignity that comes from having an income.
Georgie, good to speak. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks very much.